Lovely stuff. So thanks a million for joining me this evening. Here we have another one just popping in. Welcome. Lovely day out there, I think, in all parts of the country. So I'm surprised that it's not just me in the mat tonight. So thanks for joining me. Guys, this week we're all about the happy hips, and for everyone really, we're always going to kind of benefit from a little bit of work into the hips, but particularly for people who are very active. So I guess you start with just kind of the regular things that people do day to day, depending on your lifestyle, your job. We do tend to, unfortunately, end up sitting quite a lot. Um, Maybe it's like watching the TV, sitting at the computer, driving, whatnot, and then you add the layer of maybe your sport or your activity onto that. And as I've mentioned before, a lot of that is generally we're moving into the front of our body. So we're kind of compressing into the hips, we're tightening into the chest, and then we're weakening and we're lengthening into the back of the body. So like we were looking at last week when we were doing our hamstrings and glutes, focus here is, yes, definitely to create some flexibility and some space into the hip flexors, because that's definitely needed. But we want to engage the muscles around the hip complex so that we can actually hold that space. So there's no point in doing all these beautiful stretches. It's the same thing like going to get a massage and getting a muscle kneaded out, and it might feel amazing the next day, but unless we start to engage the muscles that can allow us hopefully keep that space, then we're just going to be kind of going back to square one. Okay, so a little bit of both this evening, but definitely we will work a little bit of space into those hips. So just to start with, I do encourage you to come to that easy cross-legged seat, even if the knees are up around your ears. And again, I want to encourage you not to press the knees down, but to try to switch on those glute muscles around the hips to kind of press the knees down. So we're trying to activate the muscles to work the knees down toward the ground. And you can place a little bit of cushioning underneath as well. Again, we're going to place those palms flat on the knees. And then we're going to lean the chest forward as far forward as we can go this time. So really exaggerating that lean. We're leaning from the lower back here. So we're not curling into the spine at all. So even if you're right up here, that's perfectly fine. Really important here to keep that nice length in the lower back. And we can press into the knees gently as we draw the chest forward and really try to draw those shoulder blades back. And then we're going to suck the belly button in and then see if we can straighten our way back up to seat. Lovely. Opening the palms. We're going to inhale the arms out. Reach it up. Interlock fingers, press palms to ceiling, and then exhale, press the palms forward and really stretch between the shoulder blades. And we'll do that 2 more times. Nice big stretch as we inhale, maybe take the gaze up. Interlock fingers, press palms to the ceiling, and then exhale, press forward and release. And we'll do that 1 more time. Trying to draw those arms right back in line with the ears. And then exhale, release. Lovely. We're going to go straight into those hips, just lubricating them to start with. So we're going to pick the right foot up. We're going to place it into the left hand. We're going to place the right knee into the right hand. And we're going to draw the toe toward the knee. So we're helping keep a little bit of space into the knee joint. Again, try to keep that nice length and tallness in the spine. If you can, bring the shin a little bit higher. But again, if you start to dump into the lower back, just keep the foot where it's at. And then we're just going to gently rock into that right hip. So really slowly, trying to get as much range into the joint, but we're not forcing it, okay? So those hands are just there to guide the hip. We're not tugging, we're not pushing. So just gently opening into that space. And again, just even notice how it feels. Notice if the movement's jerky, if it's smooth. Maybe it gets a little bit easier with each movement. And then when you're ready, we're going to meet back in center. We're going to place the right foot down, and then we're going to keep the right knee bent, and we're going to place it just behind the sole of that left foot. So the shin is parallel to the front of the mat, and we can tuck that right heel close enough to the bum here. We're going to automatically kind of start to fall over to the left. So we're going to get the left finger pads and then press them into the ground so we can sit nice and tall. And then we're going to bring the right hand out to the side. So we can stay here if that feels strong enough. We're going to inhale, lengthen. As we exhale, we're going to walk the hands forward, if we can, as far forward as we can go, keeping the arms nice and wide. So we're leaving a little bit of space for the chest to fall down. As we inhale, draw the chest forward, draw the shoulders back. And as we exhale, maybe creep those fingertips forward a little bit more. We're going to pause here for a couple of more breaths. Relax the head and neck. See if we can tuck that belly button in again, creating a little bit more space for that fold to happen. So we feel the sensation here into the left hip predominantly. And again, don't get too caught up in how far forward you're folding. Once you're feeling a little release, that's all we need. So one more breath here. And then slowly tuck the chin in. We're going to walk the hands back toward the body, nice and slowly. We're going to bring that right foot out in front of the shin. And then see if we can tuck that left heel a little bit closer toward the right. And maybe we can bring that right foot across the leg altogether. Now, if you find you're here, but that right sit bone just won't sit down, just extend that left leg out fully, draw the toe toward the face. Otherwise, we keep the heel tucked in, but just make sure those hips are nicely placed. We're going to extend the left arm out, wrap it around the right leg, and really hug that leg nice and tight into the body until we feel a lovely release into the right glute. And then we're going to inhale the arm up. And as we exhale, twisting as deeply as we can to the right, we're going to rest the heel of that right hand nice and close to the lower back. As we inhale, sit as tall and as strong as we can. And as we exhale, we're twisting from the lower back through the rib cage into the chest, and again, all the way out through the neck. Couple of more breaths here, all the time, hugging that right leg into the body, nice and strong, twisting from the lower back right up to the neck. So don't start that twist just in the neck. We want to bring that nice little bit of rotation throughout the full length of the spine. One more breath here. Exhale, twist. And then inhale gently back to center. Small little micro twist to the left, just to release. And then back to center again. If the left heel is tucked in, we're going to extend that leg out. We're going to hug the right knee in, and we're going to place the sole of that right foot to the inner thigh or inner calf, wherever it lands easily. And then from here, we're going to bring the right hand behind us. Inhale, left arm up. And as we exhale, we're going to press the hips toward the ceiling, nice and high, as we press the right knee, right arm, left foot into the ground. I want you to really exaggerate that reach through the left fingertips, maybe even take the gaze back toward the fingertips. See if we can engage those tummy muscles. So again, imagine somebody's about to drop something on your belly and you're trying to resist. One more breath here, really lengthening into the front of the body. And then slowly release back to center. Lovely. We're going to reach for a towel here. We're going to turn to face that left foot. So we might even tuck that left femur or the leg bone right back into the hip joint. So slight shift of the leg back. We're going to get our towel, we're going to bend our knee first, and then we're going to wrap our towel around the ball of that left foot. So I want you to be really conscious if you've got any tightness in the hamstrings, any niggles or any recurrent injuries, keep that little bend. We're going to inhale, lengthen. As we exhale, press the heel away as far as feels comfortable so we can hold that towel as far close to the body as we need to here. Draw the toes toward the face and we might stay here, that might be enough. Or we can inhale, lengthen. And as we exhale, again, we're bending from the hips, okay? So we're not rounding into the spine here. We're not rounding into the upper back. Draw the chest forward, draw the shoulders back, and maybe walk the hands along the towel. Again, notice if the belly is getting in the way. See if we can suck that belly button in toward the back of the spine. As we inhale, lengthen. As we exhale, fold a little bit more. So keep it nice and active. Again, we should feel this in the lower leg the more we flex the foot. In the hamstring, we just want to feel it into the center of the muscle. So not underneath the kneecap, not up near the sit bone. Again, see if you can draw that femur bone back into the hip socket. We might get a little bit more space here. One more breath. And then exhale, release. Lovely. We're going to release the towel off to the side for now. And then we're going to crisscross at the ankles again. This time, we're going to pick that left foot up. So we're going to place the left foot in the right hand, left knee in the left hand. Draw the toe toward the knee, keeping that knee nice and active. Sit nice and tall, maybe bring the shin a little bit higher, but again, only if it feels good. And then we're going to gently, gently rock into that left hip joint. Really slowly, full control, not forcing any part of that movement. Again, if you want to get a little bit deeper, you can always place that foot into the elbow crease and that knee into the left elbow crease, interlocking the hands, but again, try not to dump into the back. So you're going to find that the movement might be a little bit more restricted, but we're getting a little bit deeper into the hip joints. So again, your choice. If you prefer, just gently waking up the hips, especially for the start of the class, feel free just to rock into that left hip, nice and slow. Last one. and then we're going to meet back in center. We can place that left foot down, keeping the knee bent, and we're going to place that left foot behind us, bringing the left knee to the sole of the right foot, and the shin of the right shin is parallel to the mat, to the front of the mat. We're going to tuck that heel in as close to the body as we can. And again, we're going to start to fall over to the right. So we're going to get those right finger pads, press the ground away until we're sitting nice and even. Bring those left finger pads out. And again, we might stay here. That might be strong enough. Otherwise, we're going to inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to walk those hands forward, out in front, keeping the arms nice and wide, a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. As we inhale, see if we can draw the chest forward, draw the shoulders back. And as we exhale, creep those fingertips forward a little bit more. Rest the head, relax the neck. Again, see if we can tuck the belly button in, creating a wee bit more space for that fold to happen. And again, don't get too caught up with how far forward you're folding. Once you're feeling a little release into that right hip and you're keeping that length in the spine, that's exactly where you need to be. One more breath. And then slowly tuck the chin in. We're going to walk those hands back toward the body. Again, we're going to bring that left foot out in front. See if we can tuck the right heel all the way over to the left and maybe bring that left leg over the right, but make sure those sit bones are grounded. If they're not, just extend that right leg out, draw the toe toward the face. From here, wherever we're at, heel tucked or leg extended, we're going to wrap that right arm around the left leg and hug it really close to the body. And that'll actually allow us to sit a little bit straighter in the spine. We're going to inhale left arm up, and as we exhale, twist as deeply as we can to the left, resting the heel of that left hand nice and close to the lower back. As we inhale, lengthen tall through the spine, and as we exhale, again, we're twisting from that lower back into the rib cage, into the chest, and again, all the way out through the neck. Full spinal release here. Again, see if we can focus in on that lovely belly breath. So as we inhale, we're creating as much space into the belly as we can. And as we exhale, we're working that twist as deep as feels good. One more breath. All the time, hugging that left leg into the body. And then slowly release back to center. Small little micro twist to the right, just enough to release, and then back to center. Again, if the right leg isn't in or out, we're going to place it out now. Hug the left knee in. We're going to place the left foot to either the inner thigh or the calf, wherever it falls easy. Bring that left hand behind us, fingertips point back. We're going to inhale the right arm up. And as we exhale, we're going to press those hips toward the ceiling. As we press the left arm, left knee, right foot into the ground, extend actively back through those right fingertips. Maybe even take the gaze up. Again, see if we can suck the belly button in, resisting that imaginary object that's about to fall in our belly. So nice and strong. Taking that compression out of the lower back. One more breath here. Nice big stretch. And then slowly inhale back to center. Again, we're going to stay where we're at. We might shift that femur or that upper leg bone into the hip socket. So draw it back slightly as we turn to face the right foot. Again, little bend to the knee. We're going to reach for a towel. Wrap it around the ball of that right foot. Hold it on to either end wherever we feel good. We're going to inhale, lengthen, and as we exhale, we're just going to press away through the heel to start with, and we might even stay here if that feels enough. Otherwise, as we inhale, lengthen, and as we exhale, we're going to fold forward toward that right foot. Maybe walk the hands along the towel. Again, keep drawing the chest forward, drawing the shoulders back, so we're trying not to have those shoulders up around the ears. Nice and strong. Sucking the belly button in, creating a wee bit more space. And again, where we're feeling this, as we flex those toes, we're going to feel it in the lower leg. As we straighten out through the knee and we go a little bit deeper, we'll start to feel that into the hamstring, but again, just into the belly. Nice lengthening as we inhale and folding as we exhale. Relax the head, relax the neck. One more breath. Again, don't fight it. Just go with what feels good. And then slowly we're going to come back to center. We can release the towel off to the side. We're going to bring that right foot in to meet left, and we're going to press the soles of the foot together. From here, we're going to get our towel again, and we're going to wrap it around the outer blades of the feet. So it mightn't come so easy that the soles of the feet come together. So you can bring them a little bit wider if that feels better. Either way, we're going to wrap the towel around the outer blades. And then we're going to use that to keep those soles pressed together as we gently work the sit bones forward, or maybe we draw those heels back, whatever feels good. So we're kind of making that space between the heels and the sit bones as small as we can, as small as feels good. We might need to readjust where those hands are. As we inhale, we're going to sit nice and tall into the spine. As we exhale, we're going to use our muscles and not our elbows to press those knees a little bit closer toward the ground. So easier said than done. If the glutes are used to this, it's going to feel like you're not moving at all, but I want to really encourage you. So a lot of yoga teachers will get you to press down on that, okay, which does give you a lovely stretch, but you're not actually activating the muscles. So if you want to try pressing down and then see if you can hold that by removing the arms. So that's another way of getting into it. But really we want to kind of encourage that engagement of the muscles to receive that space. If you wish, we're going to inhale, lengthen, and as you exhale, you're going to press the chest forward, draw the shoulders back. So we're just leaning slightly forward, keeping the spine long, keep working those knees toward the ground. Quite strong here in the arms as well. One more breath. Excellent. And then slowly we're going to release it back to center. From here, we're going to come to lie on the mat. So again, just make sure that towel's within reach in case we need it. Lying down, feet are flat, knees are bent to start with. We're going to hug the right knee into the chest, extend fully out through that left leg. Press away through the heel, draw the toes toward the face. Keep the right hand on the shin, left hand on the hip. We're going to inhale, press shin into hand. And as we exhale, we're going to draw that right knee as wide as we can outside the line of the body. Again, keep that left hand on the hip. Feel that lovely space across the front of the pelvis, right into that right hip, maybe even a little bit into the right hamstring. Every inhale, I want you to press the shin into the hand, and every exhale, see if we can work that knee out a little bit wider. Again, we're not tugging the hip open. That right hand is just there, so we've something to press into to activate, and a little extra weight as we draw that knee out. So again, still working on that activation of the glutes, but we're working into a lovely stretch into our deepest hip flexor, our psoas muscles. So as I've mentioned before, when it gets tight, because it's one of the few muscles that has attachments both in the lower body and into the spine, so it crosses the whole hip complex. When it gets tight, that's where we start to really feel the pull of those hip flexors. So again, just enjoy this space. Doesn't feel like we're doing much, but just that nice little release. But again, allowing those glute muscles engaged to get that release in the hips. One more breath. Lovely. We're going to hug the right knee in. We're going to bend the left knee and place that right ankle just below the left knee, coming into our figure four. Drawing the right toe toward the knee, we're going to press the knee away from the body. And when you're ready, see if we can inhale, lift the left foot off the ground, and either interlock the hands behind the back of that left hamstring, or if you find you're rolling into the chest or you're coming off the lower back, you can always use the towel as a little extension of the arms here, just allowing us to maintain that space in the chest, that connection of the spine to the ground. Every time we exhale, we're going to work that left knee a little bit closer toward the face as we work the right knee away from the body. So again, working a lovely stretch, release into that right glute. Lovely one to do if you do suffer from sciatica, nerve pain. So again, it's not going to cure it, but it'll definitely, hopefully, release the tissue around the nerve. So it'll just make it a little bit more relief. And again, just relax the shoulders here. Try not to tense into the shoulders. So focus here and release them into the hips, but keep that nice space in the chest. One more breath. Lovely. We're going to rest that left foot down. From here, we're going to stay where we're at, but we're going to place that right foot into the left hand, right knee into the right hand, and we're just going to gently rock into the hip. This time we're lying on the back, and this way it allows us actually maintain that length in the spine and that stability in the spine as we work into the right hip. Now, if you want to make it a little bit more challenging, so you can continue just rocking into that right hip in our figure four. If you want to work a little bit of core and lower back engagement, you can extend that left foot out, hovering the heel off the ground, so it's there at about 30 to 45 degrees. And again, just working a little bit deeper into our core activation as we work into that hip mobilization. So lots of things happening here. Nice and slow, one more breath. Brilliant. And then if that leg's extended, we're just going to bend the knee, come back into our figure four. And then from here, we're going to cross our right leg over our left. Extend both arms out in line with the shoulders, palms down, shift the hips to the right, and then allow both knees drop over to the left, coming into a lovely spinal twist here. Gaze goes over the right fingertips. We're going to try to keep that right shoulder, arm, hand literally glued to the ground. If they're not, just lift the knees until you can reattach and then work back into your twist. Again, if the knees aren't falling over so easy, just shift the hips a wee bit more to the right. Nice big belly breaths as we inhale. And as we exhale, release from the lower back, in through the rib cage, into the chest, and again, all the way out through the neck. Take a couple of more breaths here, just wringing out the spine, the core, creating a little bit of space between all those organs of the abdominal cavity. Beautiful release into the right glute here as well. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to gently rock our way back to center. Uncross the legs. This time we're going to hug that left knee in, give it a nice little squeeze, extend fully out through the right foot, press away through the heel, draw the toes toward the face. Left hand stays in the shin, right hand on the right hip bone. We're going to inhale, press shin into hand, and as we exhale, draw that left knee outside the line of the body. So again, working into our deep psoas stretch on the other side. Every inhale, we're pressing shin into hand. Every exhale, we're drawing that left knee out a little bit wider. And again, don't force it. And particularly if it feels a little bit less open than the other side, don't force the hips open to match. Just notice the imbalances, acknowledge the imbalances. Again, maybe it's just the way we sat today, or maybe it's something that keeps recurring and maybe it's causing other little issues. So again, just noticing it and just enjoying that space for now. One more breath here. And then slowly inhale back to center. We're going to bend the right knee, bring the foot flat to the ground, and then we're going to rest that left ankle just above the right knee, coming into our figure four on the other side. Drawing the left toe toward the knee, we're going to press the left knee away from the body. And again, this might be as far as you go, really pressing that lower back into the ground. If you want to go a little bit deeper, we're going to inhale the right foot off the ground, shin parallel to the ceiling, and then either interlocking hands or towel around the back of that right hamstring. Left foot is super engaged here. Draw that toe toward the knee. Right foot's just hanging out there, but try to keep the shin almost parallel to the ceiling if we can. As we inhale, we're going to walk the shoulder blades together, opening into the chest. And as we exhale, work that right knee a little bit closer toward the face as we continue to work the left knee away from the body. So again, just working into that left hip and glute here. Try to relax the upper body. Try to keep that chest open. Keep working those shoulder blades together. And then just focus on that lovely release into the lower body. Keep the lower back nice and supported, nice and stable. So we shouldn't be rocking forward and back here. If we are, just use the towel, allow the leg drop a little bit until that lower back reconnects. One more breath. And then gently, we're going to release the right foot down. Staying in a figure four, we're going to place the foot into the right hand, knee into the left hand. And again, we're just going to gently rock into the left hip. So you might even feel this a little bit deeper. Just a change of perspective from when we're sitting. That lower back is really connected to the ground, so it's nice and stable. Again, if you want to bring a little bit of core and lower back activation here, we're going to extend that right foot out fully, press away through the heel, draw the toes toward the face and hovering the foot off the ground. So again, kind of getting 2 for 1 here. But real focus is on just exploring that left hip, how it feels, working as much movement as we can into that joint. Last one. Excellent. Again, we're going to bend the right knee if it's not there already. Place the foot flat. Coming back into our figure four, we're going to cross the left leg over the right. Extend both arms out in line with the shoulders, palms down. Shift the hips to the left and then allow both knees drop over to the right this time. Gaze goes over the left fingertips. That left arm is literally glued to the ground. We're going to inhale, draw the breath as deeply as we can into the belly. And as we exhale, release into our twist. Again, we're going to pause here for a couple of more breaths. I want you to really explore that lovely big belly breath. So really exaggerate that breath as deep as you can into the belly. And then use that space to release a little bit deeper into the twist. Feel that lovely release into the left glute. Wringing out the spine, wringing out the core. Feeling that lovely space across the front of the chest. One more breath. Lovely. And then slowly we're going to inhale back to center. Uncross the legs. From here, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, coming into a little diamond shape. So we can just rest the hands in the belly here to start with. So we're pressing the soles of the feet together. Again, we're trying to get those heels as close to the sit bones as we can, but maintaining that connection of the soles of the feet. And again, from here, I want you to really press that lower back into the ground to start with, and then see if we can draw those knees down toward the ground a little bit more. So you're going to start to feel those glutes wanting to activate to get that. Again, you could place the hands on the inner thighs, bringing a little bit of pressure into it, but I wouldn't force it. So if the hip muscles aren't engaging, I would just focus on allowing gravity, the weight of the body, and the breath bring you a little bit deeper here. Now, if you want to get a little bit stronger in this, so feel free to stay here and just explore that space. Otherwise, we're going to bring the hands flat to the ground, fingertips point to the front of the mat, and we're going to go into a little bridge variation here. So when you're ready, if you're ready, we're going to inhale, peel the lower back, middle back, upper back off the ground. We're going to work the shoulder blades together like we do in our traditional bridge. Press the arms, hands, shoulders into the ground, take the pressure off the neck. And again, just coming into our bridge. So this is a little bit more advanced than our traditional. So again, if it doesn't feel good, just come back into our diamonds with the spine rested on the ground. Otherwise, we're just going to hold it here for a couple of more breaths. Again, pressing those hips toward the ceiling. So this is a deep enough opening. Nice big belly breaths here. Allow the breath get you a little bit deeper into the core. One more breath. And then exhale, release upper back, middle back, lower back to the ground. We're going to hug both knees into the chest. Hands are rested on the shins. And as we exhale, we're going to let both knees drop outside the line of the body. Coming into a little happy baby variation here. Keep the lower back grounded on the mat. And again, we can hang out here for a little bit, press the shins into the hands as we inhale, as we exhale, draw the knees a little bit wider. Or if you want to come into full happy baby, we're going to bring the soles of the feet parallel to the ceiling. Either hold on to calf shins, ankles, inner arches of the feet, or we might interlock the middle and index finger around the big toes. If that's happening, we might bring those elbows inside the knees, but only if it feels comfortable and natural. As we inhale, we're going to press the soles of the feet toward the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to draw those knees down toward the ground beside us. So again, work with your own breath here, just exploring those hips. Might bring the feet a little bit wider if it feels good, as well as those knees. So we should feel this into the hips, also a little bit into the hamstrings. And again, don't push it, don't force it. Just a nice gentle release. So when you think of babies, how much time they spend like this, and it's just a natural movement to them, and it was to us at one stage. It doesn't feel so natural right now, but again, a lovely way of just kneading out those hips. One more breath, and then slowly we're going to draw the knees into the chest, crisscross of the ankles. You can make your way anyway to seat if you want to join me. We're going to rock and roll forward and back along the mat, using that motion to massage the full length of the spine into the ground, using that core engagement to draw ourselves forward to seat each time. And when you've done this about 3 or 4 times, we're going to meet in a nice strong seat at the front of the mat. From here, we're going to come straight onto hands and knees. So bring those hands out in front, stepping back onto the knees into our tabletop. Shoulders over elbows over wrists, elbow creases face forward. We're going to really spread widely through those fingers, and then press the hands strongly into the ground until we feel those shoulders really engage. Knees are about hip width distance apart, maybe a little bit wider this evening. And then we're going to suck that belly button in toward the lower back. Feel the lower back release. We're going to inhale, draw the chest forward as we gaze up toward the ceiling and arch through the spine. Exhale, pressing to the ground, curl through the spine, take the gaze back toward the belly. Inhale, gaze goes forward and up, arching the spine. Exhale, press into the ground, curl through the spine, really tuck the chin into the chest. Continue with your own breath. Maybe close down the eyes here and just feel that lovely mobilization, the full length of the spine. So again, just opening up to every single last facet along the spine, not enforced, nice and organic, nice and flowy. Last one, wherever we're at. And then meeting back in tabletop. From here, we're going to come down onto the forearms. We're going to keep the hips over the knees, so we're not falling back onto the heels, and those hips aren't coming too far forward. And then from forearms, we're going to extend those arms out in front, and then rest the head down onto the ground, or if it doesn't quite get there, onto a block, a prop, or maybe a rolled up towel. So just make sure the head and neck are supported here. We're just going to hang out here for a little while more. Notice if you feel like you're crunching into the lower back a little bit, just tuck the belly button in, feel a little release into that lower back. Maybe move the knees out a little bit wider if it feels good. And as we inhale, I want you to really stretch through those fingertips. And as we exhale, just allow the chest and belly sink a little bit more toward the ground. So we're going to feel this along the sideways, into the armpits, into the lower back, the hips, definitely into the sideways. So lovely little stretch here, particularly for swimmers. Actually, this is a lovely one just to release all that overhead action, overarm action. Again, just pause in here, a couple of more breaths. Nice big belly breaths, again, mobilizing the core with that breath, creating as much space as we can. And then from here, we're going to come back onto the forearms. We're going to press the ground away, come back into our tabletop. Just walk those knees until they're just about hip width distance apart. And then we're going to bring the hands to the front of the mat. Tuck the toes under, sit back toward the heels, and just get that lovely release into the arches of the feet, maybe wriggle through the toes. So again, I'd always pause a little bit longer here because I think it's so important, particularly for athletes, to just give those feet a little stretch, a little break. So again, really pressing through those heels here, wriggle the toes. And then when you're ready, we're going to press the finger pads and knuckles into the ground. Strong in the arms. We're going to gently hover the knees off the ground, lift the hips toward the ceiling, and then gently allow those heels drop down toward the ground. So again, feet are about hip width distance, maybe a little bit wider apart this evening. We're going to press the ground away, draw the chest toward the mat, gazes back toward the knees, maybe toward the belly. And then we're just going to gently paddle out the feet. Nice and easy, no sudden movements. Get a lovely little stretch into the lower legs. Maybe a wee bit into the hamstrings. Again, don't force it. Keep those hips lifted. Keep the lower back nice and open. Keep pressing the ground away. Really strong through those arms, through those shoulder blades. And then gently come to stillness. We're going to inhale, look forward. Slowly walk to the front of the mat, coming through a nice deep forward fold. Nice and relaxed. Little bend to the knees. Allow the head, neck, arms, body fully relax into our fold. Feel a little release into the hamstrings. We're going to tuck the chin in and slowly roll our way all the way up to stand. Head comes up last. Lovely. Take a little drink here if you need. We're going to get a little bit flowier for the rest of the session this evening. So again, we've done quite a little bit of activation. We've done quite a lot of mobilization, and now we're going to integrate it all into a nice slow practice. So when you're ready, coming to the front of the mat. Feet nicely grounded, about hip width distance apart. Hands to heart. Press the palms together, draw the chest forward, draw the shoulders back. We're going to start just with one round of our traditional Sun Salutation. So when you're ready, relax the breath. We're going to inhale, arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins, nice flat back. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge, left foot to meet it. Hold it here, nice strong plank. Again, press the ground away, shoulders over elbows over wrists. Elbow creases face forward. Nice straight line from the base of the neck through to the heels. If it feels a little bit too much in the upper body, you can drop to the knees, but just keep that straight line from the base of the neck to the knees so the bum doesn't pop up. For 2 and 1. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground. Elbows in, roll the heart forward. Untuck the toes, press the feet into the ground, lift the chest forward as we draw the shoulders back. Exhale, tuck the toes, press the ground away. Downward dog. Walk it out, nice and easy. Again, use your downward dog to create space in the body, to relax the mind, to touch in with the breath. Use it as a little reminder just to come back to yourself if you start getting lost within the practice. Coming to stillness here, we're going to inhale the right leg up, looking forward, stepping right foot into lunge. And as many steps as you need, left foot to meet it, exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center, hands extended up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins, nice flat back. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, right foot to meet it. Again, hold it here. Nice strong plank. Really actively pressing the ground away for 3. Press away through those heels for 2. And 1. Exhale, knees, chest into the ground, elbows in. Roll the heart forward and tuck the toes. Press the feet into the ground, draw those shoulder blades back. Exhale, press the ground away, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Downward dog, walk it out, nice and easy. Keep sucking that belly button in. Try to create as much space for that lovely V shape to happen. Coming to stillness, we're going to inhale the left leg up, looking forward. Stepping left foot into lunge with control. Right foot to meet it. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rolling up to center. Hands extended up. Exhale, hands to heart. Next round, when you're ready. Again, meeting at the front, feet nicely grounded, hands to heart. Draw the chest forward, draw the shoulders back. Again, see if we can suck that belly button in, feel that lovely release in the lower back. We're going to inhale, arms out, reaching up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge. We're going to pause here for a couple of breaths. So again, keeping off the knee if we can. Hold for 3. Release those hips for 2. And 1. Release the right knee down. We're going to inhale, both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Interlock the fingers, place them just above the left knee. We're going to inhale, press hands into the leg as we draw the chest forward, draw the shoulders back. As we exhale, sink those hips toward the ground. So continue with your own breath. I want you to keep that left knee above the ankle. Maybe you need to bring that right knee back a little bit more so you can really deepen into those hips. So we're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Last one. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, release. From here, we're going to keep the left hand where it's at. Inhale, right arm up, flip the palm to the left, and then we're going to reach that right arm as far to the left as we can. And we might get that left hand, catch hold of the right wrist, and draw that arm a little bit forward over to the left. So again, feel that space across the right side of the body into the hip, particularly those hip flexors. If you want to challenge the balance, you can always take the gaze up to that right hand. But don't lose that release. 1 more breath here. Inhale back to center, and then exhale, hands to heart. We're going to place both hands down either side of the left foot, coming off the right knee. Press that left foot back to meet right into our plank. Inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga to the ground. If you're doing chaturanga, keep those elbows tucked in. Lower the chest till it's just about off the mat. And then we're going to lift the chest forward or the shoulders back. Untuck the toes. Baby cobra or upward dog. If we're in upward dog, it's just the feet and the hands that are on the ground. I want you to really use those tummy muscles, those leg muscles. Draw the shoulders back. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward dog. Walk it out, nice and easy. Coming to stillness. We're going to inhale the right leg up. We're going to bend the right knee and we're going to open those hips to the right side of the room. So I want you to really press the sole of that right as far to the left as you can. Lift that right knee a little bit higher. Drop the left heel down a little bit lower. And again, we can stay here just focusing on lifting that right knee. If you want to go a little bit stronger into the pose, we're going to pivot on that left foot and we're going to drop that right foot down so that it's parallel to the left. So both feet are pointed to the end of the mat. And then we're going to press the hips toward the ceiling and extend that right arm overhead. So slightly more advanced. Again, feel free to stay in your 3-legged hip opener. Otherwise, really pressing that left arm strongly into the ground. Lift the hips a little bit higher for 2 and 1. Coming back up onto the ball of that left foot. Bringing that right hand back to meet left as we lift the right foot back into our three-legged dog. Look forward between the hands wherever we're at. We're going to step that right foot into lunge. Left foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center. Hands extended up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge this time. Both hands are planted, right knee is over the ankle. Press away through the left heel. Hold it here. Every exhale, just release a little bit more into that hip. Feel it in the right hip, front of the left hip. One more breath here. Release the left knee down on top of the toe. We're going to inhale, both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Interlock the fingers, place them just above that right knee. Again, toe can be tucked or flattened out with that left foot. We're going to inhale, press hands into the leg as we lengthen through the spine. As we exhale, release those hips toward the ground. So again, continue with your own breath. Right knee stays over the ankle. And we're just deepening a little bit more with each exhale. You might need to bring that left knee back a little bit further just to create a wee bit more space for those hips to release. Last 2, work with your own breath, lengthening and strengthening on the inhale, releasing on the exhale. One more breath. Lovely. We're going to keep the right hand where it's at this time. Inhale, left arm up, palm faces the right, and then we're going to reach that left arm all the way over to the right, as far as we can go. If that feels good, we might get the right hand, catch hold of the left wrist, pull that arm a little bit more over to the right, and we're going to really feel the fascia there along the left side. From the wrist all the way down to the front of the left hip. Again, if you want to challenge the balance, you can always take the gaze up to that left hand. If you're really looking for a challenge this evening, again, I would just enjoy that release into the left side, into the hip for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, hands to heart. Frame that right foot with both hands. We're going to tuck the left to wander. Come off the knee. Draw that right foot back to meet left. Nice, strong plank here. Inhale. And then exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga to the ground. Elbows in, roll the heart forward and tuck the toes. Press the chest forward as we draw the shoulders back. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward dog. And again, walk it out, nice and easy. Relax the head, relax the neck. Notice if you're holding the breath. Notice if it's caught up in the chest. Try to draw that breath nice and deep. Nice deep inhale through the nose, into the belly, through the rib cage, right up into the chest. And as you exhale, release through the nose, but really try to engage those tummy muscles to press every last little bit of air out of the body. Coming to stillness, we're going to inhale the left leg up this time. Bend the left knee, open the hips to the left side of the room. So this time we're pressing the sole of that left foot as far to the right as we can. Lift the knee a little bit higher, maybe drop that right heel a little bit lower. Arms are pressed evenly into the ground. We might stay here, this is strong enough as it is. If you want to go a little bit more advanced, we're going to pivot on the ball of that right foot. We're going to slowly and with control drop the left foot down so that both feet are parallel to each other and pointed toward the back of the room. We're going to press the right arm strongly into the ground, lift the hips toward the ceiling, and then extend that left arm back overhead. If you want, you can go into a full back bend. I'm quite happy here. Again, we're just going to hold it here. Gaze is back toward the fingertips, or else you're in a lovely 3-legged dog with that hip opener. For 3, for 2, and 1. Coming back onto the ball of the right foot, pivoting on the ball of the right foot. Bring that left hand back to me, right? Everybody, we're going to meet back in our 3-legged dog. Look forward between the hands. We're going to step that left foot forward into lunge. Right foot to meet it. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center. Hands extended up. Exhale, hands to heart. Well done. Take a little drink if you need. Again, continuing with that flowiness, going to get a little bit deeper into the hips with the next sequence. And again, listen to your hips. Don't go deeper than feels good. So you want to feel that you're actually engaging the muscles to release into the hips. Okay, so you're not just aimlessly releasing and going too deep or too far. So it's a whole mind-body connection. Be kind to those hips. When you're ready, we're going to come to the front of the mat. Feet nicely grounded, hands to heart. Close down the eyes here. Just take a moment. Just touch in with how the body feels, where the breath is at, where those shoulders are at. See if we can suck the belly button in, engage that core. Open the eyes when you're ready. We're going to inhale, arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge, we're going to drop the right heel down, really firmly pressing the outer blade of that foot into the ground. Engage the core. We're going to come up into our warrior two legs. Left heel bisects the arch of the back foot. We're bending into the left knee. If we're very tight in the hips, that left knee is gonna go to the right. So we want to engage that left glute and bring it right back out in line with the middle toe here. See if we can sink a little bit deeper. All the time we're drawing those inner thighs toward each other. So it's a real strong opening. And then we're going to extend arms out in line with the shoulders, palms down. Hold it here for one more breath. Feel nice and stable, nice and strong. And then we're going to inhale, lengthen into the front leg, bring the arms together overhead, palms together, gaze goes up. Exhale, bend into the left knee, warrior two lunge, extend the arms. Inhale, lengthen and rise. Exhale, lower and lunge. Continue with your own breath. If you want to challenge the balance, we might follow the middle finger on that left hand with the gaze. Moving point of focus. Notice if you're crunching into the lower back. So I want you to really try to draw that belly button in, engage the tummy muscles. So we're engaging both the core, the front of the core and the lower back. Maybe getting a little bit deeper with each exhale, but again, only if it feels good. And we're slowly into the pose and we're as slowly out of the pose. So it's lovely controlled movement. Last one. Meeting back, inner warrior two. From here, we're going to rest the right hand on the back leg. We're going to inhale the left arm up. Keep that left knee bent. We're going to flip the palm back. And as we exhale, we're going to extend that left arm overhead. So what often happens here is people start to lean back. I want you to keep that lovely bend in the left knee. Feel that space in the hips. Maybe take the gaze up toward the hand. Or if it feels a wee bit unstable, over that right shoulder. For 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale back into warrior. And then exhale, cartwheel, both hands down, either side of the left foot, coming on to the ball of the right foot. Again, we're just going to pause here for a couple of breaths. One more. Stepping left foot back to meet right. Inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga to the ground, elbows in. Roll the heart forward and tuck the toes. Press the feet into the ground, draw the shoulder blades back. Exhale, tuck the toes, press the ground away. Downward dog, walk it out, nice and easy. And again, really pressing the ground away. Draw that chest toward the mat as much as we can, lift the hips. Coming to stillness, we're going to inhale the right leg up. Looking forward, stepping right foot into lunge. Left foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center. Hands extended up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, again, just holding it here for a couple of breaths. Release into the front of the left hip and into that right hip and hamstring. When you're ready, we're going to drop the left heel down, really pressing the outer blade of that left foot into the ground. Engaging the core to bring ourselves up into our nice strong warrior two. So again, that right heel bisects the arch of the back leg. Bending into the right knee, knee is tracking over the middle toe of that right foot and not to the left. I want you to really draw those inner thighs toward each other, almost like they've got two magnets attached. And then we're going to extend those arms out, palms down. Notice here if the bum's popped out and the belly's kind of hanging out there. So we want to really suck that belly button in, feel that release. And we'll actually get a wee bit more space into the hips just by engaging those tummy muscles. Again, maybe sink a little bit lower if it feels good. When you're ready, we're going to inhale, lengthen through the front leg, bring the arms together overhead, palms together, gaze goes up. Exhale, bend into the right knee, warrior two, lunge. Inhale, lengthen and rise. Keep pressing both feet firmly into the ground. Exhale, lower and lunge. Continue with your own breath. Again, if you want to challenge the balance, we're following the middle finger on the right hand with the gaze. Sinking a little bit lower with each exhale, but again, only if we feel strong. So don't just aimlessly collapse into those hips. Nice and strong, nice and engaged. So our body is set up with all these little safety mechanisms. And if we listen to it, it will generally guide us as to where is good. We need to listen. So again, if it feels too deep, it generally is. If it feels like we're holding back, we probably are. So again, listen. All I can do is guide. Last full breath, full movement. Lowering into our warrior. And then from here, we're going to drop the left hand down onto the back leg. So we're not pressing, just resting it there. Inhale, right arm up, flip the palm. And then exhale, extend that right arm all the way to the back of the room, but continue to bend into that right knee. Again, left hand is just hanging out here, no pressure. Maybe take the gaze up to the right hand or over the left shoulder if we need a little bit more grounding. Inhale, lengthen through that arm. Exhale, maybe sink a little bit deeper into the hips. One more breath. And then inhale, back to warrior. As we exhale, cartwheel both hands down either side of the right foot, coming onto the ball of the left foot. Release into those hips. One last time. And then when you're ready, we're going to gently release the left knee to the ground, untuck the toe. We're going to walk that right foot to the very outside of the mat. If you have a block and you think you might like to use it, you can always have it within reach here before we go anywhere deeper. To start with, probably starting up on the fingertips or even onto the block itself, so that we've got as much height into the front of the body and we can really feel that release into the front of the left hip and into the right hip, a little bit into the hamstring. And we might stay here. That might feel good. We might just relax the head and neck here. We're going to pause here for a couple of moments. So again, I want you to find the space that you feel comfortable in. Try to keep the knees stacked over the ankle and not out in front of the ankle. Okay, try to keep those hips sinking and not allow the bum pop up into the air. So bring those hands as high as we need to, even if it's a stool out in front, so that we can feel that release as opposed to that contraction into the front of the body. If we know we want to go a little bit deeper, we can use our block here. We might rest one forearm, we might rest two forearms. We might come the whole way down onto the ground and use the block to take the weight of the head. But again, only if we continue to feel that release into the hips. So if we're really close to the ground, but all of a sudden we're kind of compressing and that bum's popped up, just come a little bit higher. So again, find a point of comfort. We're going to stay here for about a minute. So I want you to take your time to find that space. And again, even within the pose, if you feel like, actually I wouldn't mind going a little bit deeper here, or maybe you've gone too deep too soon and you need to back off. So again, listen to the body. So with our hip releases, they can tend to be a little bit emotional. So if we're holding a lot of tension, stress, anxiety, it generally manifests itself in the chest, but also very much in the hips. So when we do these deeper hip releases, it can really throw open the doors, or the floodgates, should I say. And again, it's not a bad thing. Let that physical stress melt out, and hopefully that'll help with the mental stress. So again, just allow the body melt. And again, if you are quite tight, this is not going to be the most comfortable position in the world. There shouldn't be any pain, there shouldn't be any numbness, there shouldn't be any tingling. Uncomfortable, perhaps. Again, just focus in then on your breath. Allow the mind still. Just thinking about letting go of all the bad stuff with each exhale. Release and let it go. Well over halfway there. Again, listen to your own body in this. Don't force it. Last couple of breaths. Wherever we're at, if we're quite low, we're going to come back up onto the hands to start with, onto the fingertips, and then we're going to bring the left hand to the center of the mat. We're going to place the right hand just above the right knee, and we're just going to take a little look over that right shoulder, a little gentle twist here. Hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Release that right hand back to meet left. We're going to tuck the left toe under, gently come off the knee, and really, really, really easily bring that right foot back to meet left. Nice and slowly walk it out, inner downward dog. I'm definitely feeling that bike ride I did today. So again, just allow that happen. Knead it out. No sudden movements. Appreciate the release. Don't battle with it. And then we're going to come to stillness. Lovely. We're going to inhale the left leg up this time, looking forward. Stepping left foot into lunge. Dropping right knee down on top of the toe. We're going to walk that left foot to the very outside of the mat. So same thing as we did on the other side. Take your time to find a place that feels good. So it could be high in the fingertips. It could be high in a block. Feel that release into the front of the right hip and into the left hip joint and hamstring. And again, you know, just because on one side it feels good or you can release a lot deeper doesn't mean the other side is going to cooperate. So the important thing here is just that you feel that release as opposed to that compression. So we're trying to reverse that compression. You might feel a wee bit of activation into that right glute. Let it happen. And again, just relax the head and neck here. So either allow the head and neck drop, or if we're quite close to the ground, we can always rest the head onto a block. Or if you're doing this in your own time, you can always have a stool or anything at all out front. So again, use your own, whatever you have at home. If you want to go a little bit higher, you can always have the forearms rested on the couch. And just feel that lovely release into the hips. And again, it's not a competition of how low you can get to the ground. So there's many people can get to the ground, but maybe they've actually started to compress as opposed to release. Again, just pause here. Let any emotion just come out of those hips. Again, try not to hold on to anything here. Every exhale, even sigh the breath out if it feels better. Just let anything go that you're holding on to. Notice if you're holding the body, maybe the face, maybe you're clenching the jaw, maybe you're frowning. Again, with each exhale, try to just soften the body just a little bit more. Even focusing in on that lovely big belly breath. Just a few more breaths here. We're nearly there. And just even notice if it feels a little bit better on one side than the other. So it's even going through these poses, touching in with those imbalances. Again, not getting too caught up or too frustrated with them, but even just noticing them, acknowledging them. One more breath, nice big belly breath. And then gently, we're going to tuck the chin in, come back up onto the hands if we're not there already. We're going to bring the right hand to the center of the mat, place the left hand just above the left knee. And again, we're just going to gently twist to the left. So not forcing it, just a nice easy twist here. Feel an extra bonus wee stretch into the front of that right hip for 3, for 2, and 1. Lovely. Release that left hand down to meet right. Readjust. We're going to tuck the right toe under, gently come off the knee, and really, really slowly, we're going to bring that left foot back to meet right. Nice and easy, walk it out in our downward dog. Take any movements that the body feels it needs. Maybe bring a little swagger to our walk, rock the hips side to side. Maybe look underneath the opposite armpits, getting a nice little stretch into the side waist, all the way down to the hips. And then when you're ready, we're going to come to stillness. Gently release down onto the knees, on top of the toes. We're just going to make a wee pillow with our hands by pelling one on top of the other.
Keep the toes together and just bring those knees a little bit wider apart. So we're coming into a nice relaxed wide-legged child's pose. And just one last time, we're going to gently shift the hips side to side, just kneading out any last little bit of tension that we're holding on to. So nice and easy. Let it go. And then gently come to stillness. We're going to tuck the chin in, press the hands into the ground, and then slowly walk those hands back toward the knees as we come to sit back up onto the heels. And then when you're ready, we're going to gently shimmy those knees toward each other. So we're sitting on the heels. And again, I'd encourage you to come back into easy cross-legged to finish your practice, just to see if it does feel any easier. Hopefully it doesn't feel any worse. So just get nice and comfortable here. Again, sitting nice and tall, nice and strong. We're going to open the palms. And when you're ready, we'll inhale the arms out. Reach it up. Interlock fingers, press palms to ceiling. As we exhale, press the palms forward, slide the breath out through the lips, release and let it go. We'll do that 2 more times. Nice big full breath as we stretch, inhale, and then exhale, release. Last one. And then gently bring the hands to heart, press the palms together, close down the eyes, and just thank yourselves for creating a wee bit of space in your evening to come to the mat, to look after yourselves, to create some lovely energy, some lovely release, and hopefully take that with you into the evening and into the weekend. And thank you so much for sharing your